that we are getting for our viewers is that China has gone off the line and has said that it can interfere in turbulent Kashmir issue as well. So that's the big breaking news, a new threat which is coming in from Pakistan's all-weather ally China, saying it may interfere in the turbulent relationship between India and Pakistan when it comes to Kashmir. Well, let's go across to Geeta Mohan, who's joining us, our foreign affairs editor. Geeta, this warning, is this some kind of a larger warning that China has given, considering it has been very miffed yesterday after the Dalai Lama's visit, that it's decided that an issue that India wants to resolve bilaterally now wants to jump into the fray?
India-China ties have not been at their highest when it comes to talking and when it comes to looking at the relations with a larger perspective and picture. The visits to Arunachal Pradesh by any important dignitary, particularly the most irksome of the visits for China, has always been His Holiness the Dalai Lama's visit to Arunachal Pradesh. And hence, when the visit was taking place, or even before, there were two warnings that China sent across to India that it could impact bilateral relations. Now, we know that every time there's a visit of the Dalai Lama to Arunachal Pradesh, and this certainly is not the first time. Even the past governments had already maintained, and India continues to maintain and continue with that policy decision that he is a spiritual leader, a revered guest of India, and is allowed to travel anywhere he wants till he does not carry out any political activity, which is what is the case this time around as well. He's going there to address and give sermons in various Buddhist monasteries, as also meet his followers and disciples there. Having said that, China's entire reaction, while very stark and very sharp, is not a surprise, but the editorial in the Chinese media, most of which are official voices, mouthpieces of the Chinese government, does come as a very specific threat to what China is capable of doing and will continue to do on India's Western Front, which is create trouble, continue with the projects in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and the idea of destabilizing the valley and helping Pakistan in doing so is certainly a very huge threat to the Indian administration, something that will not be taken very kindly by India, even in terms of words that have been put out in that mouthpiece of the Chinese daily. What we are looking at is strained ties between India and China, but India and China in the past also, despite these bickerings when it comes to visits in disputed areas, have always moved forward on the economic and the larger issues. Can they overcome the issue of this travel this time around or not is something we'll have to wait and see. There has been a lot of bonhomie, ties and camaraderie between the two leadership, that is Xi Jinping and Narendra Modi. But will that translate into them overcoming this problem is something we'll have to wait and see, given that China's help and support and backing to Pakistan has really irked India in the recent past and has indeed led to the bitterness in ties in the recent past.
And Geeta, is this another bid by Pakistan's ally, a good friend, all-weather ally at that, to internationalize the Kashmir issue, something that Pakistan has been attempting to do time and again, and India has been maintaining that it's an issue which needs to be resolved bilaterally?
Well, the fact is that Tibet is a very sensitive issue for China. And what China has been saying is that while India wants to put forth the idea that Dalai Lama's visits to Arunachal Pradesh is not a political one, they absolutely dismiss that argument of India. And what they are saying is that if they continue to allow the Dalai Lama to visit these territories, it creates problems for them in Tibet. Hence, they will not stop or maybe help Pakistan in fomenting crisis and trouble and unrest in the valley. And if that happens, that is serious. While officially they do not really come into or try mediating in the Indo-Pak relations and ties, that stand has been an official one. Will that change? And if that changes, yes, that would be internationalizing the issue of Kashmir. Also, if they are hinting at supporting Pakistan and not officially mediating, that in itself is also a huge problem, given given that they, in this article, have mentioned the might, the military might that China has, undoubtedly so. They are mightier when it comes to, and a bigger economy when it comes to the strength, and their assertion in the region certainly has troubled India, but will they really walk the talk and translate this into supporting Pakistan? And if that happens, that could mean serious trouble for India. How is the Indian administration going to manage that is something we'll have to wait and see.
Any kind of reactions which may be coming out from India, considering even yesterday India made it very clear that it doesn't even need the interference of America. Of course, the US did come out with a clarification. However, India's stand on the Kashmir issue and a bilateral resolution of all the outstanding problems is something which has been made well known.
No reaction so far, but every time the Chinese side warned India, India did come out with a response saying that he is not a political figure, he is a spiritual figure, a guest of India, and India cannot be taking orders from anyone. India would look like it is buckling under the pressure of this mighty China if India would have not allowed the Dalai Lama to visit Arunachal Pradesh, which is an Indian territory. And India does not want to take orders. India has made that very clear, and is the reason why the messaging will continue from the Indian side to de-escalate the tensions between India and China on the one hand, and on the other hand also trying to put forth India's view that India cannot be taking orders on its own territorial integrity and sovereignty from any country. And if territorial integrity is something to be respected, then China should be respecting India's territorial integrity in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where they run a project with Pakistan in an illegally occupied territory.
Well, interesting developments which are happening. In fact, Geeta, do stay on with us. Well, that's the big story that we have been getting for you, and this is the breaking news that we have been getting for you as to how China now has warned India, saying that it's quite possible that it may be interfering in the turbulent Kashmir issue. Now, remember, it has been an outstanding issue which has happened between India and Pakistan, and more importantly, India has been maintaining time and again that it is an issue which is going to be resolved bilaterally and it does not need a third party's intervention. But despite that, it seems China has decided to perhaps get back at India for having defied it completely and snubbed it internationally with a visit of the Dalai Lama. In fact, we are going to